Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Kemal AA and this is another Chelsea transfer news video for you guys, where I keep you guys up to date with all the latest Chelsea news surrounding Chelsea in the past 24 hours. We'll be revealing Thomas Tuchel's new transfer plans for the upcoming summer window, June-July time. Erling Haaland, Marquinhos, Upamecano. We'll be delving into all the latest reports by Christian Falk from Fabrizio Romano, all the top tier journalists, revealing all of Thomas Tuchel's transfer plans for the upcoming windows. And also from what the article was stating regarding Christian Falk that he wrote about Thomas Tuchel, why Chelsea was such an attractive proposition. I'll be delving into that article as well, giving my thoughts and opinions on each player that we are linked with. But before I do go into it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's Chelsea news video for you guys. Now, starting off with the first report, and that is on Marquinhos. Marquinhos, of course, Paris Saint-Germain player, can play various positions, defensive midfield role in the midfield, or as well predominantly play centre-back, and was actually partnered with Thiago Silva for many years at Paris Saint-Germain. Only 26 years of age, heading into his prime years. But this report was broken by Dean Jones, who writes for the Bleacher Report. Fairly reliable, quite credible. I wouldn't put him in the top tier bracket, but he is relatively reliable. He's stating that Chelsea could really look at PSG defender Marquinhos, who they had previously looked at into a deal for. A deal would be very difficult. Now, if you cast your minds back to about 18 months ago, a year ago, right before we were hit with that transfer ban, Chelsea were actually interested in securing Marquinhos' services. At the time, we were in desperate need for a centre-back. David Luiz was looking like he was going to go, and he ended up going. We had Rudiger, we had Christensen, but we only had about 3 centre-backs on the cards, and we needed a world-class upgrade in that department. And at the time, Chelsea were looking at signing the Paris Saint-Germain defender. However, as the weeks developed and used on, the agent of Marquinhos used the interest from Chelsea to secure his client a more lucrative contract with Paris Saint-Germain, and he's only recently signed a long-term contract about last year. Hence why I don't see this being too realistic, and I'll give you my reasonings in a second. But again, as you delve into the article, there's not much detail, but the fact that now that Thomas Tuchel is now manager of Chelsea, and they previously had a working relationship at Paris Saint-Germain, and they got on really well together, and the fact that Thiago Silva's already here, you know, that could persuade Marquinhos to come. And of course, Chelsea are interested. We are in for a defensive mid / centre-back, so signing a top player like, you know, Marquinhos, who's world-class, who can play both positions, is very attractive for Chelsea, of course. Now, here's my reasonings. Now, before I get into my reasonings of him as a football player, let me get into my reasonings as to, do I think this will happen? And at this moment, as I record this, of course, things can change. Football always changes. But for me, I don't see this being realistic, and I'll give you my reasons as to why. Now, firstly, he's 26 years of age. He's been at Paris Saint-Germain for years now. From what I understand, his family's really settled there. His wife loves it in Paris. He's really happy in Paris. He's got kids there. He's been at PSG for a long time. He's very loyal to that club. And money would never be an issue because they're backed by Qatar owners who offer him, you know, astronomical wages week in, week out. You know, the best Chelsea can do is either match it or increase it, but money would never be a problem because, as I said, they're backed by Qatar owners who could offer any type of money they'd want. He's very, very happy in Paris. So I don't see it in that sense being too realistic. However, like I said, I'm not Marquinhos. He could be looking for a new challenge, a new experience. Again, he's had a working relationship with Thomas Tuchel. He's really close mate to Thiago Silva. Again, he can come to the Premier League, the toughest, most competitive league in the world, work under his former manager, look to compete. Chelsea are on the rise. Chelsea are on the up, looking to compete for Champions League, Premier League. PSG haven't had the best of seasons. Not sure Pochettino rates him, we don't know. But again, he'd be a fantastic acquisition for Chelsea. He's a world-class defender who can play DM. And as Tuchel described in his first match press conference in regards to Kante, he likes and prefers Kante in that double 6 position, i.e. in a pivot. So you're having, you know, you could have the option of having, you know, Marquinhos and Kante in a DM position in a pivot. Absolutely mind-blowing. A world-class, you know, double in that pivot would be superb. Or alternatively, you could have Marquinhos and you know, Thiago Silva as a centre-back partnership. There are so many options you can do with Marquinhos. He's a world-class defender, 26 years of age, heading into his prime years. And I like his intelligence. Intelligence regarding his mentality, intelligence in the physical aspect. He's strong, he's quick, he's agile, he's tall as well, very, very athletic, but as well super intelligent when it comes to IQ. His reading and understanding of the game is elite. And I think, you know, he's one of the best defenders in Europe. So for me, this has to be a no-brainer. But as I said, I'd love Marquinhos at Chelsea. I just don't see it being too realistic. And on top of that, we don't know what PSG would command. He's just signed a long-term deal, so they could command anything between 60 to 70 million pounds. And for me, he is worth that price, but it depends on, Chelsea looking to sign Haaland, which I'll be getting into in a second, for upwards of 100 million pounds, and then slash 70 on Marquinhos. These are two world-class upper echelons, top quality players, but will Chelsea splash this much again? We'll have to wait and see. It will remain to be seen. But for me, I'd love Marquinhos to Chelsea. But what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Do you think Marquinhos is a top player? Would you take him to Chelsea? Do you think it's unrealistic? Leave me all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But let's move on to the next report, and that is on Upamecano, a player that I've spoken about in the past few weeks on my Chelsea news video for you guys. And essentially, it's broken by Fabrizio Romano a few weeks back that Chelsea were in a running alongside Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City for his signature. Of course, he has a release clause of 42.5 million euros now. Fabrizio Romano came with an update yesterday on the Upamecano situation. This is mainly for Manchester United, as they are also interested in him. He was saying, to be clear about Upamecano, no chances for him to leave RB Leipzig in the coming days. So, January transfer window move is ruled out for him. He'll be sold next summer. Release clause 42.5 million euros. Manchester United are not in talk to sign him in January. The race is open for next summer. So, as I said, many clubs are interested for him. Don't forget, because he has such a cheap release clause for the player that he is, and of course you have all the top clubs in for him. Young, versatile, quick, athletic, very good on the ball as well, fantastic ball playing centre-back. Because of a cheap release clause of 42 million euros, it really is up to the player where he wants to go, because of course every top club, whether that's Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City or Liverpool, they're all they can all afford to activate his release clause. It's all of a case of it's up to him where he wants to go. So now it comes down to the hierarchy to persuade him and convince him that our club is the right project for him. And it really depends on Thomas Tuchel. Does Thomas Tuchel really push for him, or does he prefer Marquinhos? Now, if you ask me personally, I think Marquinhos is a much better player than Upamecano, and I'd rather Chelsea go in for Marquinhos compared to Upamecano. But we'll have to wait and see. I think Thomas Tuchel will also prefer Marquinhos, but it really depends on the hierarchy. It really depends how seriously interested we are in signing Upamecano. So as I said, we'll have to wait and see in that one. Also, getting into the Haaland links, I spoke about Haaland briefly yesterday. Sky Sports broke it that Chelsea are interested. This is not new news, we know that. But his release clause cannot be activated this summer. So it's going to have to be a direct negotiation with Borussia Dortmund themselves. Going to cost upwards of £100 million. It all depends on if Erling Haaland wants to come to Chelsea again. 20 years of age, an absolute goal machine, beast on the ball. Physical, perfect attributes for the Premier League, so clinical, lethal, one of the best strikers in Europe. But he's going to have all the top clubs, all the elite clubs in for his signature in the summer window. So Chelsea's job to persuade him, but I think we have one of the best tacticians and coaches in the world now. We have a fantastic project striving to win the Premier League, Champions League, striving to be back up to where we were 10 years ago as one of the most elite clubs in Europe, and I think we are on our way there. We've got everything in place now. I think that it will be quite easy to convince Haaland, but it really depends on, are we ready to cough up over £100 million? Will Dortmund sell him this summer? And of course, if Erling Haaland wants to come. So a lot of factors involved in this deal. As I said, you can't say no to Haaland. I'd love Haaland at Chelsea, but it depends on will this still get done. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But any update on Haaland, I will be discussing on this channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. Now, finally, getting into what Thomas Tuchel was talking about. Thomas Tuchel, it was written by Christian Falk. Christian Falk wrote an article this morning, actually, which I'll be discussing, revealing the details of the article. Now, it's not anything on transfer plans. I've just revealed to you guys what Thomas Tuchel's transfer plans are this video. But I'm going to be speaking about, his time with Chelsea, as in the time he's going to have with Chelsea, and why Chelsea was such an attractive proposition. Now, again, he said Chelsea, this is by Christian Falk who wrote this, he said that Chelsea was always an interesting proposition for Thomas Tuchel because they had the perfect profile, young players of high quality. Thomas Tuchel prefers a club like Chelsea, who have a lot of quality and talent and where he can turn them into superstars. Thomas Tuchel is very happy to use youngsters at Chelsea for his preferred systems. Thomas Tuchel likes the development of the Chelsea team, so it's unlikely that there will be any clashes like in the past, constrained to play in a certain way. Again, Thomas Tuchel is very confident what he sees of this Chelsea squad, and he says he will have decisions in the future to make, but Chelsea will have to wait until the summer to make any transfer decisions. Of course, that is already well known. Nothing new there, but it's interesting. Now, a lot of people were fearing that he wouldn't utilise a world-class academy, and that's wrong because, of course, if you look at his CV and track record, he has a pedigree of developing young players. He gave Pulisic his debut at the age of 17. He developed Ousmane Dembélé, made Aubameyang the player that he is now. He was known to give a lot of debuts at PSG as well. He developed players at Mainz and did a fantastic job there. So this notion that he doesn't give young players a chance is a myth. It's a complete myth. He does give young players a chance, but he likes to nurture them and develop them in the correct way, not throwing them in the game every single time, every 3 days like Lampard did. He knows how to develop them properly. He's got a track record of doing it. He's got a CV of doing it. And he's got a world-class squad, which is almost, not quite, almost tailor-made in his image. Of course, he's going to need around 2 or 3 more acquisitions. But this current squad, I think that is almost tailor-made in his image. So it's really interesting to see. But I'm going to be wrapping up the Chelsea transfer news video for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And this evening, I will be doing a live stream at 7/7:30 PM. More of a transfer news edit, Q&A, interacting with you guys, having a live stream for a very, very long time. So this will be interesting. But yeah, gonna wrap up the video there, guys. See you.